After a week of balancing singing with laundry duties, Toa feels overheated and sweaty as she finishes folding clothes. She notices the changing seasons outside, a novel experience since arriving on Earth. Meanwhile, Shintaro, Noelle, and Susumi are relieved now that exams are over, unexpectedly finding themselves back in the occult club's room. Shintaro remarks on how much time they've spent there recently, which surprises him. Last week, Noelle suggested they study together, believing it's what friends do during exams. They consider studying at either Noelle's or Shintaro's place, and Susumi eagerly joins in. However, Shintaro proposes checking with Toa first, as he's never studied with friends before. Unexpectedly, Lishka suggests they study in the occult club's room, surprising everyone. In the present, they credit their successful study sessions to the occult club's room. Noelle and Susumi agree, expressing gratitude to Lishka for her support. They've even befriended Mafu during this period. Suddenly, Lishka's voice playfully suggests Susumi did most of the work. Out of nowhere, Lishka emerges from a coffin, sincerely thanking them for their help during exams. Shintaro finds her entrance odd, but Lishka dismisses it as a divine entrance. Susumi modestly downplays her efforts, though Shintaro admits he wouldn't have passed without her. Throughout the week, Susumi has been crucial in explaining and solving problems for them. Lishka commends Susumi's dedication and explanations, echoed by Shintaro and the others. Susumi blushes as Shintaro gives her a nickname for the first time. When he asks what she's thinking, Susumi shyly replies, "Nothing much." Susumi mentions now that exams are over, they might be intruding on other occult club members. Shintaro agrees, assuming Lishka was the sole member initially, but realizing there are others. He suggests they should leave to avoid causing trouble. Noelle proposes celebrating somewhere like a cafe. Shintaro agrees and invites Kagami to join them, but Lishka interjects. She reveals Kagami SYI is her undercover name and insists they call her Lishka instead. Confused, Shintaro asks Lishka why she always strikes dramatic poses. Lishka explains that Lishka is a blend of Yuri, Lily, and a famous vampire's name, striking another pose proudly. Shintaro points out that she just admitted it's not her real name, surprised by her theatrics. Noelle wonders if she means the vampire from Van Hing, and Lishka confirms it with a flourish. Shintaro marvels at their quirky dynamic and suggests they leave. But then he remembers something and asks Lishka if she has enough members to make the club official. Confidently, Lishka introduces herself and reveals a skeleton as the club president. Shintaro is shocked, questioning why there's a skeleton, just as a girl bumps into him while he opens the door. Concerned, he checks if she's okay and apologizes. Lishka introduces her as Surumi, another member of the occult club. Upon seeing Kurumi, Shintaro introduces himself from Class 1 and extends a friendly greeting. However, Surumi shyly hides behind Lishka, causing Shintaro to worry that she might not like him. Lishka reassures him, explaining that Surumi is always like this and prefers to avoid humans. Correcting Lishka, Surumi reveals she's just shy and deals with social anxiety. Susumi apologizes to Surumi, explaining they were using the room to study for finals, but will leave now. As they prepare to depart, Shintaro hesitates and asks Lishka about her plans now that Surumi is here to manage the club. He wonders if she wants to stay and focus on the club. After a brief moment of thought, Lishka decides to join them. Along the way, she shares that the Occult Research Club only had third-year members who graduated earlier this year. The club was on the verge of closure until Sui and Lishka joined, keeping it alive. Shintaro asks if they're the only members now, and Lishka confirms, expressing uncertainty about the club's future without new recruits. She suggests they join to keep it going, but Shintaro declines, despite Lishka's tempting offers of AC and soft drinks. Noelle and Susumi are surprised by Shintaro's refusal. Shintaro apologizes to Surumi for involving her and asks if she enjoys being part of the occult club. Nervous, Surumi starts crying, which makes Shintaro feel guilty. He quickly apologizes, reassuring Surumi that she doesn't have to talk to him if she doesn't want to. Observing Surumi's reaction, Lishka explains that Surumi loves books, but gets anxious around others, preferring the quiet of the club room. Shintaro nods understandingly, but wonders why she chose the occult club. As they walk towards the station, Noelle asks where they should celebrate. Susumi suggests a casual restaurant with drinks, and Shintaro mentions Mrs. D's nearby for its spacious dining area. However, they spot a festival, and Noelle insists they check it out instead. At the festival, Susumi enjoys the lively atmosphere under the bright lights. Noelle asks Shintaro if going to festivals with friends is common for him, to which Shintaro admits it's his first time. Susumi asks Tsurumi about her festival experiences, learning that Tsurumi enjoys summer festivals for their carefree vibe. Suddenly, Shintaro notices Lishka missing, only for her to reappear with a bundle of items, impressing him with her quick transformation. Lishka philosophizes about everyone having multiple personalities and expressing them boldly. She notices something bothering Shintaro and remarks on his bittersweet scent, jokingly asking to nibble on him, which Shintaro declines, confused. Persistently, Lishka asks what's troubling him. Shintaro admits he feels Tsurumi is particularly scared of him compared to the others, wondering if it's because he startled her earlier. Lishka humorously suggests that maybe Tsurumi is upset because he accidentally saw her panties, shocking both Shintaro and Tsurumi. Tsurumi quickly denies it, and Shintaro insists he didn't see anything. Noelle playfully suggests that maybe Tsurumi's panties were visible, just like when Shintaro accidentally saw hers before. Shintaro denies seeing anything this time, but Susumi notes that his fervent denials might be making Tsurumi feel more uncomfortable. Feeling hungry, Susumi suggests they split up to grab some food. Noelle grabs Shintaro's hand and leads him away from the awkwardness. They enjoy various festival games and take in the sights before pausing to eat shaved ice. Noelle remarks how fun it is to grab a bite with friends and spots people enjoying buttered potatoes, deciding she wants some too. Shintaro notices the girls enjoying festival food and decides to join in. He discovers stalls with grilled corn and chilled cucumber, opting for the latter. As he prepares to leave with his cucumber, he notices Tsurumi eyeing the chilled cucumbers too. He offers to buy one for her, but she hesitates nervously. Shintaro apologizes if he startled her and suggests they get some together. He orders 2 chilled cucumbers and tells Tsurumi to relax and enjoy hers separately. As Shintaro starts to walk away, Tsurumi stops him and clarifies that he misunderstood. Confused, Shintaro asks if she doesn't want the cucumber at all. Before Tsurumi can answer, the others rejoin them. They gather at a spot where Noelle admits she's full, but is still enjoying her shaved ice. Susumi agrees, saying it was a lot of fun, and Noelle expresses her reluctance to leave. Shintaro notices the sun setting and suggests they head home. Reflecting on the day, he realizes it wasn't how he expected to enjoy a summer festival, but is grateful for the fun they had together. He decides to bring Toa next time, certain she'd love it. They notice Lishka observing the sunset and remarking poetically, "The golden ball of fire sinks, and in its place rises a pale moon." As Venus begins to shine, signaling the end of a chaotic evening, Lishka continues with her unusual musings. However, Shintaro finds her words cringy. Suddenly, he notices Lishka near the riverbank and fears she might fall in. Rushing to save her, he ends up falling into the river himself, realizing too late that Lishka can fly. Everyone is stunned by this revelation. Meanwhile, Tsurumi reacts swiftly and jumps into the river to rescue Shintaro. Underwater, Shintaro panics as he struggles to breathe and realizes the river is unexpectedly deep. As he sinks, Tsurumi grabs his hand and pulls him to safety. Concerned, everyone gathers around Shintaro, checking if he's hurt. He reassures them he's fine. Lishka apologizes for getting carried away, and Shintaro admits she frightened him. He then thanks Tsurumi for saving him. Tsurumi explains she's not used to talking to boys, which made her nervous and unable to speak earlier. She clarifies she wasn't scared of Shintaro, but apologizes for making things awkward. Shintaro expresses relief and apologizes for unintentionally causing her distress. Tsurumi reassures him it's not his fault. Shintaro reflects that despite the river mishap, it's been a good day. Suddenly, they notice a glow emanating from Tsurumi's head. Susumi calls attention to it, and they see something resembling a halo above Tsurumi. Noelle wonders if it's a halo, and Shintaro jokingly asks if Tsurumi is an angel, which she denies. They then notice a shell on Tsurumi's back. Shintaro wonders if it's a kappa shell, startling Tsurumi, who realizes her secret is out. Lishka remarks on not expecting Tsurumi's secret to be revealed so soon. Shintaro questions why Lishka didn't mention it earlier if she knew. Lishka explains she didn't have permission from Tsurumi to disclose it, which Shintaro accepts, acknowledging Lishka has moments of sensibility. Surumi appears confused and distressed by the sudden turn of events, feeling it wasn't supposed to happen like this. Lishka asks Surumi if she ate any cucumber, to which Surumi confirms she did. Lishka then reveals that if Surumi comes into contact with water within an hour of eating cucumber, she transforms into a kappa. Shintaro feels guilty, thinking it's his fault for buying her the cucumber. Lishka reassures him, saying Surumi is no ordinary kappa. When Shintaro asks what she means, Lishka explains that Surumi's grandfather is the head of the All-Japan Kappa Federation, which secretly governs Japan. This makes Surumi the future #1 kappa of Japan, leaving Shintaro stunned by the revelation. Confused about what to do next, Surumi receives reassurance from Noelle, who assures her that they all know Lishka's secret and Surumi is safe with them. Grateful, Surumi thanks them. Shintaro then suggests introducing Surumi to someone else, to which Surumi agrees. He goes and returns with Towa. Upon seeing Kuumi as a kappa, Towa is amazed and expresses her honor at meeting her right after encountering a vampire. The next day, Shintaro vents to Towa about a frustrating incident at work. Curious, he wonders if she hides her feelings because he's never seen Towa angry. Towa admits she does get angry but can't recall an example. Shintaro muses on whether all angels are as calm as Towa, but remembers Schwan, who has quite a temper. Catching the scent of food, Shintaro investigates what Towa is cooking. She offers to feed him, but he declines, feeling embarrassed, and decides to try it on his plate instead. Later, after class, Noel spots a cake shop and excitedly drags Shintaro to try it out, with Susumi following. Meanwhile, Towa returns from the market and sees them in the cake shop. Witnessing Noelle feed Shintaro cake, Towa experiences anger for the first time, but quickly composes herself and leaves. Back home, Shintaro surprises Towa with cake, but she refuses, surprising him. Sensing her sadness, he asks if she's upset, and though Towa tries to deny it, her expression betrays her feelings. Takawa confesses to Shintaro that she can't comprehend her emotions, but suspects she might be feeling jealous, quickly changing the subject to decline the cake. After savoring the delicious dessert, she thanks him. Shintaro mentions his summer vacation starting tomorrow and invites Towa to go out with him. Delighted, Towa accepts and expresses her happiness about living with him, leaving Shintaro embarrassed by her candidness. Meanwhile at home, Noelle watches a TV show where two girls plan to make 100 friends in their first year of school. Inspired by their goal, Noelle recalls her own attempts, which ended in failure, leading her to stop attending school. Though she hasn't fully overcome this trauma, she managed to return to school and get a job. Spotting a movie she wants to see on her phone, Noelle plans to surprise Shintaro at work and eagerly heads to the restaurant the next day. Upon arriving, Noelle's boss is pleased, thinking she's visiting even on her day off. Ignoring him, she hurries over to Shintaro, only to find another girl with him. Observing the scene, the boss praises Shintaro for his social life, wondering how many girls he hangs out with. Noelle proceeds to invite Shintaro to see a movie with her, but Shintaro can only leave at 6 o'clock while the movie starts at 3:30. Apologizing for her impulsive invitation, Noelle is surprised when everyone at the table expresses interest in joining her. Unaware of Noelle's intentions, Towa hilariously assumes going to the movies means jumping into the TV. As they head to the theater, Noelle tries to explain she wanted to go with Shintaro alone, but doesn't get the chance, ending up going along with everyone else. In the mall, Towa and Lishka enjoy churros, while Susumi suggests splitting popcorn, which Noelle gladly accepts. Once seated, Towa holds Noelle's hand out of fear during the movie, which Noelle doesn't mind. During the movie, Noelle feels a bit nervous, being with everyone instead of just Shintaro. When the movie reaches its climax, everyone becomes engrossed. Afterward, Towa excitedly shares her enjoyment of watching movies on a big screen, with Noelle agreeing it was a fantastic movie. Despite this, Noelle feels a pang of sadness, really wishing Shintaro had been there with them. Lishka suggests that once the movie is available on a streaming service, they should all watch it with Shintaro in the club room. Noelle and Susumi enthusiastically support the idea, and they share a laugh together. They plan to meet Shintaro at a cafe after his work, while Noelle continues to think about him. Surumi, having read the manga adaptation of the movie, discusses the parts that were skipped in the film. Noelle chimes in, feeling there were also important details missing from the movie adaptation. Engaging in the conversation, Noelle begins to realize she can have fun and connect with the girls even without Shintaro around. Later that night, on an oppressively hot day with the air conditioner broken, Shintaro and Towa resort to using the bathtub to cool off. However, Shintaro finds himself flustered by Towa's bare legs and hastily opens the balcony window, only to find it equally sweltering outside. Suddenly, Lishka appears, requesting her usual nibble from Shintaro's neck. Shintaro hesitates due to feeling sweaty after the hot day. Lishka then invites them both to the Occult Club summer camp, promising air conditioning, hot springs, and a beach. Shintaro, initially reluctant since they're not members, relents upon hearing about the air conditioning and agrees to join, much to Lishka's delight.